Next news. Breaking news from the White House.
The White House Correspondents Dinner was supposed to be another smug media cocktail party. Well, not this year. President Trump is expected to walk straight into the lion's den for the first time in either of his terms, and now the same press corps that spent a decade smearing him is openly plotting a boycott, a protest, and even a coordinated effort to make him uncomfortable. Think about that. The people who lecture America about democracy are preparing a political stunt at their own black tie event because Trump showed up. But here's the part that has Washington freaking out. Trump isn't hiding from the fight. He's heading right for it. Now, this matters because it tells you exactly what the corporate media has become. They're not neutral referees. They are political actors. And this dinner is exposing the mask slipping in real time. According to reports, roughly 250 journalists signed onto a letter pushing members of the press corps to forcefully demonstrate opposition to President Trump at the WHCA dinner. Not report, not question, not investigate, to actively oppose. That's activism dressed up as journalism. And for the American people, that's the real scandal. These are many of the same outlets that gave Barack Obama celebrity treatment, gave former President Biden a pass during the years of obvious decline, and looked the other way while the previous administration pushed censorship pressure during COVID and ignored the border disaster. But the moment Trump shows up, suddenly they rediscover principle? Give me a break. The president is doing what he's doing here is bigger than a dinner. He's forcing the media class to reveal itself in front of the whole country. If they can't handle one speech without staging a protest, how can they claim to handle the truth? Before I show you how this White House showdown is turning into a total stress test for the media, let me share something deeply personal. You see, for years my wife battled chronic pain and anxiety from a diagnosis. Endless doctor visits, treatments that didn't help. Watching her struggle daily, it broke my heart. And then Jonathan Otto introduced red light therapy. Her pain vanished, anxiety lifted. She's sleeping soundly, full of energy and life again. My recovery and vitality, better than guys half my age. Truly life-changing for us. That's why I recommend red light therapy. It's backed by NASA research, FDA cleared, and studies show rapid pain relief, better sleep, and faster recovery. If you're tired of feeling worn down, go to myredlight.com right now. Use NNN25 for 25% off individual items or NNN30 for 30% off bundles. Take care of your health like you take care of your family, because when you feel better, you fight better every single day. Now let's get back to the media elite losing their minds because President Trump decided to show up in person. See, here's the twist that makes it even better. See, the White House isn't sending Trump into a hostile room unprepared. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says the president is very much looking forward to the dinner, calling him the most transparent and accessible president and teasing that his speech will be very entertaining. Translation? Trump knows exactly what this room is, exactly who will be there, and exactly how to turn their sneering little gala into must-see television. Yes, C-SPAN will be carrying it live so the country gets to watch without the legacy media filter. This is the news reports. There are 250 fake news journalists boycotting Trump at the White House Correspondents Dinner. They have been told to forcefully demonstrate opposition and make him feel uncomfortable. Mass protests.
150 journalists now have signed on to a letter asking members of the White House press corps to, quote, forcefully demonstrate opposition to President Trump at the annual event. They say journalists should make him uncomfortable during the evening. The president is set to attend the first time in either of his terms the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Joe Concha's new column is titled "The Press Declare War on Trump at the WHCA Dinner." He highlights the hypocrisy this way. These are the same people who treated former President Obama like a rock star at these dinners. Former President Biden also received a warm reception despite his utter disdain for the press. Is Trump wrong to use his First Amendment rights to call out newsrooms and outlets that have been outright disdain for him and his policies? Not one bit. Criticism isn't a one-way.
Fireworks. It's going to happen. It's going to be glorious. So the press corps gearing up to heckle Trump at its own dinner. Caroline Leavitt says Trump is walking in anyway, and she's promising an entertaining speech.
And yes, as for tomorrow night, I hope that we will see all of you there. I know the president is very much looking forward to it. I think it's quite fitting that in our nation's 250th year, the most transparent and accessible president will be attending the White House Correspondents Dinner for the first time. And his speech will be very entertaining. That is what I will tell you. So everyone should tune in.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. It is going to be a glorious, glorious White House Correspondents. Probably the best one ever. She's teasing the show, and now we get the official setup. C-SPAN laying out the full black tie scene, with Trump expected to make his first appearance as president. This is the official post from C-SPAN. The event happens Saturday. Tomorrow, President Trump attends the White House Correspondents' Dinner with Oz Perlman. Live coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern on C-SPAN.
Join C-SPAN this Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern for Washington's premier black tie event, the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Watch live coverage from the Washington Hilton, featuring red carpet arrivals of top journalists, political leaders, and celebrities. This year's featured entertainer is renowned mentalist Oz Perlman, and President Donald Trump is expected to make his first appearance as president. The White House Correspondents' Dinner, live this Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern on C-SPAN, C-SPAN Now, our free mobile app, or online at cspan.org.
Now you may be asking yourself, well, Gary, why aren't you going to the White House Press Correspondents' Dinner? Aren't you a chief White House correspondent for the Next News Network? Well, of course I am. But the White House Correspondents Association, they rejected my application. Yeah, go figure, right? But that doesn't change the fact that I get to go to the White House whenever I want to, in the middle of the night, to go and produce news for you. So the White House Press Correspondents Association can kiss my white ass at the White House, just like they're going to be doing to President Trump when he shows up. Ha ha ha! Anyway, that's the formal invite and the live coverage plan. Laura Trump's camp says the president isn't going there to cower. He's going there to roast the room.
This is going to be a good time. He's there to have a good time. And I feel like it's such a good full circle moment for him, because a lot of people like to kind of get under and the surface and say, oh, I think the reason Donald Trump actually ran is because of the Obama joke at the White House Correspondents' Dinner all those years ago.
No one is happier. No one is prouder to put this birth certificate matter to rest than the Donald. And that's because he can finally get back to focusing on the issues that matter. Like, did we fake the moon landing? What really happened in Roswell? And where are Biggie and Tupac?
So now he's president, and now he gets to go back. And I agree with you, Megan. I love that he's going. I think it's great. And yeah, I think everyone should get ready, because he's going to do some roasting, and we know that he doesn't hold anything.
No, he doesn't hold anything back, and neither do I. So Trump allies are treating this like payback night. Meanwhile, on Morning Joe, the media class is already melting down. They took issue this morning with Trump's attendance at the White House Correspondents Association dinner. Oh, but don't worry. I'll have some eyes and ears there.
We know this president likes to insult and demean reporters all the time. We know that he has cut press access. You mentioned the Pentagon, also at the White House. Kicked, reshaped the pool, kicked reporters out to portions of the West Wing.
Oh, you complaining that Franchi's at the White House?
Has put the press at the attacks on the press at the center of his second campaign here. And Eugene Robinson, look, I'm a proud member of the White House Correspondents Association, which does incredible work, and the dinner does raise money for scholarships for journalists. We can do that another way. I think that this dinner, the time for this dinner expired, I would argue, long ago. Particularly this year, it is deeply fraught.
Yeah, look, I'm skipping all the events this weekend, and I would happily write a check to support the scholarship efforts, and I think a lot of members of the Washington Press Corps would also do the same. This just seems beyond awkward. There is this actual war going on between the free press, which is enshrined in the First Amendment, and this president. And it just strikes...
Enough for the morning, Joe. We know your agenda. We know all the tricks. We know all the lies and the smears. You guys can try to play victim like, oh, we're just innocent reporters. No, you guys are biased propagandists for the establishment. We're learning now the FCC chair, Brendan Carr, he'll be attending. Source says he will be Paramount's guest. CBS News invited Pete Hegseth and Stephen Miller as guests. Fox News' Trace Gallagher calling out the liberal media for planning to protest President Trump at the White House Correspondents Dinner. Are they fighting Trump to keep a free press or using a free press to keep fighting Trump?
Journalists are about to dip their toes into no king's territory. They are organizing to oppose President Trump. But instead of taking to the streets, they are taking to the annual White House Correspondents Dinner to ask the White House Correspondents Association to make the president feel unwelcome. The same president who normally doesn't attend the White House Correspondents' Dinner because he's not made to feel welcome. So 250 journalists signed a letter saying they believe the president is a threat to freedom of the press. Turns out they don't like him suing media outlets. They don't like him calling reporters names. They don't like him. Prominent names on the list include former ABC journalist Sam Donaldson, former CBS anchor Dan Rather, who in 2004 held his own presidential protest when he screwed up the military service record of George W. Bush. And speaking of free press, it seems the press was free to cover the Biden administration censoring the media during COVID. The press was free to cover Joe Biden's mental acuity and free to cover 10 million illegal immigrants crossing the U.S. border. So much for freedom of choice. So common sense is just asking, are they fighting Trump to keep a free press or using a free press to keep fighting Trump?
A little bit of common sense there. And then we have this. Shifting gears, Caroline Leavitt gives the room one last jab before maternity leave, reminding reporters they practically have the president on speed dial. Margot Martin posting this. Caroline Leavitt gaggles with the press for the last time before her baby girl arrives.
This will likely be my last gaggle for some time. As you can see, I'm about ready to have a baby any minute. So I will see you guys very soon. I know you'll be in very good hands with my team here at the White House, and I know all of you have the president's phone number personally. So I have no doubt that you'll have a shortage of statements and news from this building while I'm gone. So we'll see you guys soon.
And there she goes. Congratulations, Caroline Leavitt, on your new arrival. That line landed because it sums up the whole relationship. The media attacks Trump nonstop, then acts shocked when access stays closed and controlled. Next up, one outlet says Marco Rubio could temporarily take the press secretary role. Here's the scoop that Caroline Leavitt actually reposted. Caroline Leavitt scheduled to have her second child next week, a baby girl. Leavitt will be returning to the podium after her maternity leave, though it's unclear exactly how many weeks she'll take. No one will be filling in for Leavitt formally during her leave, but the comm shop is planning to have some familiar faces at the podium to brief press, including Vice President J.D. Vance, cabinet officials, or even Trump himself. Now, I've been keeping this close to the vest. I've known this for quite some time and didn't want to get ahead of the White House on this announcement, but now the cat's out of the bag. So from what I was told months ago is that there would be a steady rotation of cabinet members who would be filling in for Caroline Leavitt. Now it is confirmed during her leave. The comm shop planning to have some familiar faces. J.D. Vance, cabinet officials, or Trump himself. In the meantime, White House press shop will be managed by White House comms director Stephen Chung, Leavitt's team Pat Adams, Anna Kelly, Kush Desai, Abigail Jackson, Liz Houston, Taylor Rogers, Davis Engel, Allison Schuster, Olivia Wales, Mika Stuprich, Ellie Akra, Georgia O'Neill, and Keegan Nangle. All people that I know and interact with when I go to the White House. A great team there. Allison, she was my main point of contact when I got in. Olivia, been a great help for me. Mika, Ellie, Georgia, Keegan, all of them. Stephen Chung, great team there. So the press may get a break from Leavitt at the lectern, but not from this White House message machine. Caroline Leavitt gaggling one last time. And then, of course, the memes begin to flow. Here's a, you know, these memes of Marco Rubio sitting in a chair. Marco Rubio is temporary press secretary. You gotta love it, man. You gotta love it. So the big reveal is this. The White House Correspondents Dinner, okay, is no longer a celebration of journalism. It's a stress test for whether the press could tolerate a president they cannot control. Trump attending blows up the old script. He's not begging for approval. He isn't avoiding the room. He's walking in as an elected leader of the country with Republicans in control of Washington, with his administration on offense, and with the media class reduced to protest letters and boycott threats. And while that's happening, the White House press operation is showing confidence to Caroline Leavitt, stepping away briefly to welcome her baby girl, joking that reporters already have the president's phone number, and reports say family members are familiar. Familiar heavy hitters like Vice President J.D. Vance, cabinet officials, or even Trump himself could rotate behind the podium. That's not chaos, folks. That is swagger. So here is the bottom line. Saturday night, not just another Washington dinner. It's a test of strength and confidence and who really holds power in the country. President Trump is walking into a room packed with people who spent years attacking him, and instead of shrinking, the Trump White House is leaning in. That's leadership. That's confidence. That's why the media class is freaking rattled. Caroline Leavitt deserves congratulations as she prepares to welcome her baby girl. And if the reports are right, the idea of J.D. Vance, Cabinet Secretaries Rubio, or even Trump himself stepping up at the podium should tell you everything you need to know. This administration is not on defense. If you agree Trump should absolutely attend and roast the fake news, comment yes or no, and share this report. Subscribe. And text raw feed to 844-840-4963 so you get direct alerts the algorithm never sends. And check out the Next News merch shelf below this video. America First is back, and the press room knows it.
The system controls information. Information control is power. They don't want you to see this. The truth only survives together. They don't want this shared. Share this now.